Fire escape engineers, inspector summary video. Inspector Manassas here. We're here in Millburn, New Jersey. This is a fire escape system, about 11 systems all around this whole complex. But we have one typical fire escape that I'm going to explain what needs to be done here in order for this fire escape to remove the violation. This fire escape is under violation, and a load test has been ordered by the fire marshal. And or in lieu of a load test, he wants a guaranteed certification. And a guaranteed certification is that this fire escape is brought up to a point where it's ready for a load test. So let's talk about the paint first of all. Must be structurally sound, must be kept painted. Let's take a look at the paint. All these fire escapes have been kept painted. So to a certain degree, spot painting is all you're going to need in order for these fire escapes to pass the paint side. In regards to the paint, there's EPA renovators licenses required. A lot of these fire escapes are lead-based. Anything older than 1978 will usually have a lead-based primer. And when it has a lead-based primer, only people who are going to paint this fire escape must have a renovator's license. Most contractors by now, whether they're paint, iron workers, or general contractors, all have renovator's licenses by now. It's a requirement. The fees are very excessive. And in case of fines, it's over $35,000 to touch a fire escape with lead on it, and have it go into windows and affect complexes where there's children and older people, and that's why the EPA law now applies. No fire escape older than 1978 can be touched without having a renovator's license, which means you know how to handle this properly. Number two, there's repairs that are going to be needed on this fire escape, so everybody must pull a permit. The City of Millburn requires that any repair work done on a fire escape, you must pull a permit unless it's emergency repairs, and then you can go through the permit process. But all repairs to this fire escape must be done on the permit. Number three, we're looking for evidence of maintenance. Any and all evidence of maintenance on this fire escape, which is 50 to 75 years old. I'm looking for some hex head bolts anywhere. I see none, not on the treads, not on the supports. So that means now, in order for this to satisfy a level 2 calculated load test, we need total refurbishment of this fire escape, of all the major structural, not necessarily all the minor. Major structural would be any major connections such as supports, platform frames, treads. All minors are all these pickets. So let's start with the pickets first. All these pickets, if they're in good order, they don't need to be rebuilt, rebolted or anything. And you can't weld. The EPA does not allow you to weld as a repair on any fire escape that has lead. Everything is bolted, riveted, and so again, all the minor structural on this fire escape does not need to be done unless it shows evidence of rust in the connection. But all the major, every joint corner is a major. I want all these bolts swapped out. Every one of these that ties into the building must be swapped out. The frame, the 2x2 frame that goes all the way around, they must be 100% cleaned of all rust and then rebolted. These grates, they're basically these straps that go from side to side, rebolted. But the straps that go from this way to this way, a lot of them are riveted and or connected through a weld. If they're good, leave them alone. Dig out all that rust. I want all that rust dug out, and then seal all these joints sealed with 50-year silicone. All major corners on railings must be done. All major connectors on railings must be done. Nothing left behind. Corners, frames, you got a lot of rust in these corners. Every single one of them, you got a huge amount of rust in all these corners. Heads of the bolts have been eaten. So this fire escape has not seen any major refurbishment at all. Going down the stairs, 100% of all these treads need to be rebolted. There is no evidence. They're all riveted. So but again, look how much rust has grown on them. Huge rust. So every one of these treads is suspect. Huge rust accumulation. I want my stringers. These are original hardware, 50 to 75 years old. I want every one of these stringer clips redone. This rivet needs a gusset plate in here. You can keep the rivet if it's in good condition. I want a gusset with 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here to guarantee that gusset, to guarantee that rivet in the front. That rivet in the back needs a gusset triangle in the back to basically nullify the need for that rivet in there. The cement connections in this one here all need to be repacked. Down below, they're just missing. There's the cement is totally gone. 100% of the treads, clean and silicone shut all these connections here because they're all water's getting in here. And all these connectors here, 100% change them out, rebolt them. I need a clip down here so that when the stringer comes down, it's got to clip back to the support so that in case something happens, both the bottom and the top of the staircase is connected. What I just said upstairs is the same problem down here. Look at all. Everything is rusted out. These corners are all suspect. Tiebacks are all suspect. It's all missing. Worse on here is this. Look at that big hole of cement. Once I start going down, you'll see. So whatever I set upstairs for this platform is the same thing for here. This ladder, besides being damaged by a truck hit down below, we have original hardware tying back in. I need this duplicated, or take this out and put in new anchors, new lag screws with anchor. Straighten out the ladder down below. Missing cement. Now this is typical here, but in actually, going to the next one below, you're going to see that it's major. This entire lower platform, all the supports are open. Okay. All the cement is missing in all of these down below. So again, all the supports, all the rivets are not verifiable. And all the cement has been compromised going into the walls. There. So we can repack these, and to avoid having to verify inside the wall, which is very costly, I want new anchors put here. New epoxy anchors, Hilti epoxy anchors, about 5 inches away from that connection, into the wall 8 to 12 inches, and then put a connector back to this support. Repack all this, repack all those, and but to avoid having to go into the building and verify any plates or anything in the back of this, you can just duplicate it with a new connection. The joints are all in the corner, all shot, as you can see. So standard, all fire escapes on this building, and there's probably a good dozen at least wrapping around. On the inside courtyard, it's all balconies with ladders only. The balconies and the ladders going into the cement wall are just, half-inch rounds, actually just right into the wall. So we need to do something to make them not rely on the connection, and we're probably going to put it flat on the outsides and tie it back so that but the photographs will show. Okay, any questions? This is Fire Escape Engineers, Inspector Meneses. 800-649-3333. The fire escapes look like they need refurbishments in order to prepare for a load test. And there's no evidence of any maintenance on any of the fire escapes other than just painting over the lifetime of these 50 to 75-year-old fire escapes. All 12 of them, or 12 plus. Any questions? Fire Escape Engineers, Inspector Meneses, 800-649-3333.